welcome back to the channel, everybody. Hopefully going to do something a little bit different today. I didn't think to drive over this section of the river and see how deep it was or whether or not it's even clear enough to bother with, but we're going to try to wade a river that's just down the road from my house. And I would normally start out with something small for like panfish or whatever, just to get the skunk gone, but this time starting out with a little 90 size whopper plopper, well, the Berkeley Chopo, and just taking this one rod and about half the crap that I usually take. Just get down here and see if anything's biting, because I need a wading video. I haven't waded a creek or river in a long time. It's actually up a little bit, not too bad. So since we're already up here and there's usually a couple of bass hanging around, might as well throw the Chopo, see what happens. Did I already have a fish? How did that happen? I'm gonna watch my step here. Yeah, I've got a fish. I'll be dang. I'm wondering if I snagged it because it started moving as soon as it hit the water. No, it's a mouser. That's a friggin' stud of a Coosa bass too. I have to get a picture of that one. Coosa bass are one of the subspecies, that's got red eyes, like a ton of other, fish species. It's not just bass that have red eyes, but they don't get a lot bigger than that. But they are very, very much a very spicy-minded fish. Let's put it that way. Oh, another one. As soon as it hit the water too. Oh, darn it, it came off. Like it hit it as soon as it hit the water. Alright, let's go ahead and make our way upstream a little ways. Now I've got a whopper plopper 60 with me that I may tie on. It's got a little bit smaller hooks, a little bit different plop to it. But this is just the bone color Berkeley Chopo. At least I think that's what the color name is, I ain't sure. That's pretty rare. You never see the underside of bridges painted with stuff that's, nice and not obscene appendages and gestures and racist remarks and stuff. Alright, I guess this is no worse a time to figure out just how cold this water is, because this comes directly out of the mountains. Woo, boy, I tell you what, once that gets to the marbles, that'll wake you up. That's actually pretty comfortable. Now that I've got slightly adjusted to it. Oh, I had a feeling that there was going to be something right over there. Nearly every time that I come down here fishing, which most of the time I'm not using gear to where I can actually reach that little pocket right over there, but there's almost always something hiding over there. Alright, well, it seems that nothing really wants to bother with this Chopo after that first one. My line's tangled up. So, we're going to attempt to make our way up there toward the bridge. I know it gets fairly deep up there, so hopefully it won't be too bad crossing over onto that grass so that I can actually get to where I want to go. Alright, hopefully there ain't a creepy crawly hid in this grass, but this river has changed a lot since I actually waded it last, because like right down there at the end of that little grass patch on the opposite side used to be like a raised part, or kind of like an island, and it's no longer there. Hadn't been for a couple of years. I also need to remember that it is more than likely much deeper than it looks. Because I've come up to a couple of spots already that looked like it was just over ankle deep, and it wasn't. All right, let's cast around the edge of this grass and stuff, see what happens. I only really stopped to make those couple of casts because about 10 feet in front of me was another Coosa bass. And of course it spooked. And I'm not sure if it's the rocks that have already made it into my shoes or the modification that I made to them to get a little bit extra grip on these rocks. But they're not exactly comfortable at the moment. Fish. All right, you need to stay away from that root ball. Oh, there's two bass with it. One is, come on, get it. Come on. You know you want that whopper plopper. I don't want to play with it too long. That's the one thing with these whopper ploppers is they get hooked on everything. All right, I've got like 3 good sized spots right here in front of me, but dang pretty bass, 100%. That one's not huge, but it's not bad. Alright, I ventured out here to the middle just a little bit to get some extra distance because there's a lot of that far side there that I ain't getting to. And it'll definitely wake you up when that water touches the marbles. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna give this lower side here just a few more minutes and then work my way up, because from where the water comes down and hits the bank on this side here, it's got like a little swirling pocket over there that looks promising, but I can't tell much, if anything, about it from here just because it's down tree. But yeah, we're gonna give this just a couple more minutes and then move up, mostly because this battery is just about dead. Well, I sat here, did some B-roll stuff, retied, put that whopper plopper back on, or Berkeley Chopo, and they're all whopper ploppers more or less. So we're gonna try to make our way up to this little point right here, because there's a shallow spot that actually it's just out of water completely. I'll try to stay as close as I can to this bank, that way I don't accidentally find a hole that is deeper than I am tall. Well, I think I'm going to make my way back instead of wading through all this, because my backpack ain't waterproof and there's stuff in it that I do not want getting wet. Let's try to get back to shallower waters and work our way back down, because I know where a couple of fish are downstream. Woo! Woo! Woo!
That one puckered up my butthole.
Found a hole between like 3 rocks, and it almost caused an evacuation. one had it in its mouth and I didn't notice. Like I seen it was kind of like mouthing at it, but I didn't notice that it was far enough in the mouth or not. Gotcha. That wasn't one of them that I thought I was getting bit by, but we'll take it. A little large head, my phone's in my pocket, so I'll just have to remember that there was a head of the large bass. Came along and picked her up. Now we got something. It's small, but it counts. That is a little micro Coosa bass. Looks real similar to smallmouth, but they're not a smallmouth bass. I think they're a little bit meaner, to be honest. So, gotta remember from a little log book thing, +1 for largemouth and +1 Coosa bass. Fish. That was out of nowhere. I thought I was just snagged up on something. What do we got? Freaking stud of a rock bass. I mean, that's a friggin' stud muffin of a rock bass, and that thing is pretty too. If I didn't know any better, I'd say that's a shadow bass, but it's not. Even though shadow bass have a very similar like shape and color pattern to them, but anyway. That was fun. So +1 largemouth Coosa and rock bass. I know better than to wade too far down this stretch of the river, because there is a hole somewhere in here that is much deeper than I am tall. I found it the first time I came down here fishing with Creek Fishing Adventures, like back when in his early days of YouTube. Like I'm talking early, like pre-1500 subs, kind of early. Anybody need a good tire and wheel? I know where one is. Don't lowball me. I know what I got. We're gonna call her quits here in just a little bit, mostly because we ain't catching a whole heck of a lot. That and my shoes are full of rocks, and it is less than comfortable. Fish. Didn't even feel that one bite. He just picked it up. A little Coosa. I think I might actually be able to turn this into a little video. So +2 Coosa, 1 rock bass, 1 largemouth. There were some pretty fish. They got a lot of attitude to them. I'm gonna hope that my GoPro is waterproof. Yep. Time will tell whether that was waterproof or not. Well, I was going to film this on my GoPro, but I don't know that the GoPro works. If you're seeing the footage, it is. So, anyway, the little alteration that I made to my shoes, which are some just old junk work shoes, was I took and added screws into some of the little treads. Now, you would think that that would, stab you in the feet. Well, it didn't. If you get it in a really good thick part of the sole and get them screwed in there, I put them in with super glue, that way they couldn't back out or really go farther forward into the sole. So they never did poke through, and it actually did improve the traction on some of those wet rocks, which, if you've ever seen them on Instagram, there's a brand called Rock Treads, and they're a tread company that makes little metal pucks for, you know, wading shoes, wading boots, stuff like that, trout fishermen and such. Anyway, I'm going to try to salvage this video, which, if y'all are seeing it was saved. So, alright, well, I was able to get the files off of the camera, but it's not functioning the way it should. Like, it works probably good enough to keep using, but it looks like this Hero 9 is getting replaced. So, looks like I'm pretty much being forced to re-upload some old videos just to be able to keep my schedule going until the new one gets here. So, anyway, hope you liked the video. No, we didn't catch a whole heck of a lot, but it's a talk, man. So, we'll see you in the next one.